Liverpool have been dealt an unwelcome new concern involving Alexander Isak, with fresh developments emerging regarding his injury, which forced him off in their recent win at Tottenham. The situation has prompted close monitoring behind the scenes, with questions now being asked about how long the club may have to plan without their record signing, and what the implications could be as the season enters a decisive phase. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, Mohamed Salah's Liverpool future may be up in the air, but Egypt's head coach Hossam Hassan has played down talks of a crisis with him. It has been comfortably Salah's most tumultuous season for the Reds, having been dropped by Arne Slot prior to a fiery interview earlier this month. The 33-year-old is now representing Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations, with a change of scene arguably best for both him and Liverpool. Speaking to reporters, Egypt boss Hassan rubbished claims of a crisis involving Salah, with his focus at AFCON unquestioned. "I don't consider what happened to him to be a crisis. These things often happen between players and coaches," Hassan said. "We've been in contact with him by phone from the beginning, and I met with him when he joined the national team camp. His focus is entirely on the tournament." Salah's morale in training is very high, as if he were just starting out with the national team, and I believe he will have a great tournament with his country. "I feel his motivation is very, very strong. Salah is an icon and will remain so. He is one of the best players in the world, and I support him in everything he does." Hassan also claimed that he expects Salah to return to Liverpool better than ever, adding, "Whenever Salah's performances dip with his club, he regains his strength with the national team and becomes even better, whether by contributing to goals or scoring himself. Then he returns to his club even stronger. He needs to win the cup by helping us and by helping himself." There is still no guarantee that Salah will be at Liverpool past the January transfer window, but it arguably feels more likely that he will be, having had clear-the-air talks with Slot and apologised to the squad. The Egyptian has a history of returning from AFCON tired and far from his best, however, which the Reds could do without next month. Salah has fallen way below the world-class level he has been renowned for since arriving in 2017, and Liverpool badly need a reinvigorated figure back at Anfield. A successful tournament with Egypt may help in that respect, but supporters will be happy to see him return sooner rather than later. Now, Liverpool are bracing themselves for a prolonged spell without Alexander Isak after fears emerged that the striker has suffered a broken leg, an injury that could sideline him for much of the remainder of the season. The 26-year-old was forced off during Saturday's dramatic 2-1 win away to Tottenham Hotspur, despite having scored moments earlier, and subsequent assessments have left the club anxiously awaiting the final results of an MRI scan. The initial concern is that Isak has sustained a fracture, an outcome that would represent another cruel setback in what has already been a grueling debut campaign at Anfield. Providing an update on the situation, respected journalist David Ornstein explained that the early indications are troubling. "Liverpool suspect Alexander Isak has suffered a broken leg," he reported, adding that the striker is now facing months out rather than weeks. While the full extent of the damage will only be confirmed once scan results are finalised, the expectation internally is that the Sweden international will miss the bulk of the second half of the season. That timeline would be a significant blow for Liverpool, who invested a British record £125 million to bring Isak in from Newcastle United, with the hope he would spearhead their attack under Arne Slot. Instead, his first year has been repeatedly disrupted. A lack of pre-season involvement meant Isak arrived short of sharpness, and that was compounded by an adductor problem earlier in the campaign, which ruled him out of 4 matches. Even before this latest injury, his availability had been carefully managed. Isak has made 16 appearances in all competitions, but only 10 of those have been starts. His goal against Spurs, scored from the bench, was just his third for the club, yet it also underlined the quality Liverpool risk being without for an extended period. Much will now depend on the precise nature of the fracture. A clean break is often considered the more favourable scenario, typically requiring around 3 to 4 months of recovery before a full return to action. Any associated ligament or syndesmosis damage, however, could extend the absence beyond 6 months and potentially into the summer. As medical specialists often note, bone injuries tend to heal stronger, whereas ligament damage can have longer-term implications for pace and explosiveness. If Liverpool are able to target a return around April or May, Isak could still play a role in the run-in. But even that optimistic scenario would likely see him miss close to 20 Premier League fixtures, as well as large portions of the Champions League knockout rounds and domestic cup competitions. In the meantime, his absence leaves Slot with limited options through the middle. Hugo Ekitike is currently the only established senior centre-forward available, with Federico Chiesa viewed more as emergency cover than a trusted alternative in that role. As a result, Liverpool are expected to seriously consider re-entering the transfer market in January. One name emerging as a realistic option is Antoine Semenyo of AFC Bournemouth. The forward is understood to have a £65 million release clause that can be triggered during the first 2 weeks of the window, making him an attainable short-term solution to a sudden and significant attacking void. For now, Liverpool's focus remains on Isak's recovery. The club are expected to take a cautious approach with a player whose season has already demanded patience, ensuring that when he does return, it is with a view to long-term durability rather than rushing him back into action. In other news, Liverpool are expected to be without Wataru Endo until the middle of January following a fresh update regarding his injury absence. The Reds may be undefeated in their last 6 matches, beating Tottenham 2-1 away from home on Saturday, but injuries are becoming a concern. According to journalist David Lynch on Substack, Liverpool will be without Japan's captain until mid-January, having not featured since the 3-3 draw at Leeds earlier this month. Arne Slot's use of Endo has frustrated some Liverpool fans, with the 32-year-old's experience proving to be important in the past. He has only featured for 44 minutes in the Premier League this season, 44 minutes across 5 cameo appearances, suggesting his boss doesn't see a future for him at Anfield. It remains to be seen if Endo will leave next summer. He is contracted until 2027, but his current absence could give an opportunity to train Ioni during the festive period and New Year. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.